Hey, today we will just have a chill talk about all the possible teams, most of which I theorycrafted myself, but then I also went all around the internet in search for what others made. But before we start, you should know that I made all these teams specifically to beat bosses in the shortest time possible, meaning I've paid less attention to AoE capabilities. But also, and more importantly, I am not including any of the defenders in my teams. Okay, let's start with the Heat Teamcomps. For the meta team, we have of course Levetine as a hyper carry. She's the one I chose to main during beta, and my next video is going to be a dedicated guide on her. Wolfguard is a must pair as he applies heat infliction, but also combustion on his ultimate, which triggers Levetine's combo. Antal, I would say, is a must have as well. Not only he buffs heat damage, but also adds a stack of heat infliction, which is so important for Levetine. The fourth teammate is where we can choose. Ardelia is a safe choice for many reasons. Her buff is really good, her combo activates Levetine's combo, and she provides heals. Akekuri is the other choice. With a lot of planning, she can perform better than Ardelia, but you need to make every skill count. She provides SP regen, but also a link buff after casting her ultimate, which pairs well with Levetine's enhanced skill. I also think Pelika could work here, but I haven't seen anyone try it and I didn't build her myself. Of course, there is also the possibility of running double DPS with Yvonne. They don't synergize with each other, but that doesn't matter as you can just ult and do damage. For this team, however, I am not sure what the ideal team comp would be. If you have the money and you are going to unlock full potentials and full weapon dupes, you can switch Wolfguard with Ardelia and then just skip cutscenes XD. But I'm trying to keep these teams realistic and zero potential friendly. Levetine has a pretty good AoE clear, and you can make it even better with Gilberta. However, Gilberta applies nature infliction, so you will have to strategize around that. Now, Wolfguard is a DPS, but in Levetine's team, he is just a hit infliction bot, and you don't even use his enhanced skill. So, let's bring him some justice and compose a hypercarry Wolfguard team. Perlika is essential as she applies electrification, which activates Wolfguard's enhanced skill and buffs art damage. Aleš recovers skill points, and his ult also applies Cryo infliction, which gets converted to combustion with Wolfguard's combo. And the fourth slot is a fill. Ardelia, Gilberta, Antal or even Akekuri should work just fine. Cryo teams. I didn't pull last ride, so I didn't get to try her teams out, but the meta comp in China was hypercarry last ride, Saihi, Ardelia and Pelika. The performance was on par with the meta Levetine team. Theorycrafting a little further, Fluoride should work well because of the extra infliction she provides, which is useful for last ride's combo. Then it's just Saihi and a filler. Either Ardelia, Akekuri or Pelika, maybe Aleš, but I'm not sure if his combo works here. Of course, you might be thinking, shouldn't last ride work with Yvonne? And after reading their skills, you might be like, no. Last ride wants to stack infliction, while Yvonne wants to trigger solidification, but I believe we can make it work. Running last ride, Yvonne, Saihi and Fluoride, we should be able to start by triggering last ride's combo and ult for Cryo buff, then trigger Yvonne's combo for solidification, and Saihi's combo for infliction, which should then make Yvonne's ult do infinite, while also keeping the rotation going. There could also be scenarios where Fluoride could be swapped for Perlika, Akekuri or even Levetine. Yvonne fits about anywhere, but as a hypercarry, she runs with Saihi, Gilberta and Perlika. With some scenarios or even as a replacement, you could use Akekuri, Aleš, Fluoride, Ardelia or again Levetine. I mentioned before that Yvonne wants to apply solidification. If we take a look at Estella, she converts solidification to physical buff. Perlika fits here perfectly as she provides damage, buffs, and her combo synergizes with physical inflictions. Now we just need to pick a physical unit. Chen does good damage and keeps up the physical infliction for Perlika. Endmin is good here as they can choose to crash whenever, and the Originium crystals can be triggered by Endmin himself or Estella's ultimate. Li Fang works well if he has his ultimate up, as he himself buffs physical damage, so we want to have something to use it on, in this case his ultimate. Pograničník is in the same situation as Li Fang. However, he actually provides a lot for the rest of the team, which should make him the best choice for this comp. For Electric team, we just have Perlika, Aviana combo, which are not 6-star characters, so for those doing the no 6-star challenge, this is your team. The rest of the team can be surprisingly varied. We can take it the classic direction of double support, or we can introduce any arts DPS, which then opens possibilities to add even higher variety of characters. Speaking of variety, we need to talk about the physical teams. There are so many characters that work together and nothing is stopping you from combining them however you wish. Okay, let me bring some order to this chaos. On the Korean server, the team of Chen, Pogranicznik, Li Fang and Dapan has gained a lot of traction. And this team absolutely aura farms, however it requires heavy investment, so I haven't really seen it at its full potential yet. I can't but think to myself that Dapan is the weakest link here, and I would personally replace him with Endmin, or a support like Akekuri or Ardelia. Let's go back to Endmin however, because Endmin works pretty well as a main DPS. We can compose a solid team of Endmin, Li Fang, Chen and pretty much anyone else. You might also know that Alesh has a specific synergy with Endmin, making teams of Endmin, Alesh, Estella and a filler possible. But Estella is not necessary here and can be replaced by a vast variety of other characters. But if you like Estella, you also have the option to use her with Perlika, just like in the Yvonne's team, but without Yvonne, so you can focus more on physical damage. Going back to Alesh Estella team, they can trigger each other's combo without requiring Endmin, meaning we can use two other physical units instead. Now we can see how things get complicated when talking about physical teams, and I genuinely can't tell which team is going to become the meta. But I also don't think the meta is going to be as straightforward as in other games. But what I know for sure is the next category is never going to be meta. Let's take a look at the meme teams.
Kloski, analysis.
In case you didn't know or forgot, Endfield has 3 rarities of characters, the lowest being 4 stars. So of course, we have to build a team with only those. 2 ways we can go about it. Stack nature, apply solidification, convert to physical buff, but we don't have a physical DPS, so that's not happening. The only actual DPS we have is fluoride, which means we have to turn this around. Stack cryo infliction and apply corrosion. I know them well, some of y'all love fluoride and will try your best to make her a hyper carry. And I'm here to encourage your insanity by keeping this team secret. Yes, if you really believe in the fluoride hyper carry, you should be the one to discover it. Anyways, let's move to the other team. Are you tired of these complicated teams and wish you could just spam one button over and over? Well, let me introduce you to the Pogranicznik skill spam comp. With Endmin, Alesh and Akekuri, no more strategies, we go full unga bunga with this one. Oh, but what if the enemies are fighting back and that causes you to lose HP? No worries, with the team of Ardelia, Saihi, Ember and Snowshine, you won't ever run out of HP again.